In part one of this rebuild project, I gave a short history of this rare car and explained why I'm doing a major rebuild. To recap, the car has been poorly put together, resulting in excessive engine noise and vibration, and faulty wiring, which eventually led to a breakdown and tow back home. It turns out there are only 2 engine mountings, and the engine was actually touching the frame when accelerating and causing a buzzing vibration that ruined the pleasure of driving the car. After much deliberation, we decided the best thing to do was rip everything out and start again from scratch. But the major headache was the fact that the engine was installed in the car with the body placed on afterwards, as clearly there is no room to get the engine out either from above or below. So I looked at ways of cutting the rear body section as discreetly as possible so that for major maintenance and repairs, the entire rear section can be lifted off. I deliberated over this for months and eventually took the plunge with my Hitachi jigsaw, which incidentally was given to me in 1989 when I wrote a woodworking book called The Incredible Router. Now the Hitachi saw has served me well, and with a little bit of extra grinding, drilling, chiseling and hand sawing tricky sections, we were able to get the rear end off in about a day. Now I'll worry how I refix it firmly later. What an absolute joy to see the entire rear end of the engine with full access to the engine, gearbox, suspension, drive shafts, wheels, etc. The next thing to do is to take the engine and gearbox out, and as I intend to put it on eBay, I thought it best to demonstrate it's running and in good condition. It always starts straight away and sounds sweet. It doesn't smoke and the oil pressure is around 90 on startup, and when hot settles to a very healthy 50. The next task is to snip wires and dismantle pipes and connections and lift the engine and gearbox out. While my assistant was doing the heavy work, I started snipping the spaghetti junction of wiring. What a mess the wiring is, and so many earth connections that it emphasizes again to me that the rewire and access to fuses, battery, etc. will be a major challenge to redesign and install. The battery, for instance, is loosely placed behind the front wheel arch and impossible to get at quickly, and even the fuel pump is placed low down in the rear wheel arch, making it exposed to everything a wheel throws up. It's this attention to detail and insight into how a vehicle behaves in every eventuality that is crucial when building a car. The lifting of the engine separated from the gearbox took a full day to achieve, and it was a great relief when it eventually lifted free. Whether the new diesel lump will fit in and how we fit it in is the food of a future installment, so watch this space.
All you wanna do is ride around Sally, ride Sally, ride. All you wanna do is ride.